Hi, and welcome to the Hospitality Academy. My name is Mark Dickinson. I'm your trainer and mentor. Today we're going to be talking about Train the Trainer. Train the Trainer is a fundamental for every manager in the hospitality industry. If we don't have trained trainers, we cannot deliver the #1 goal of our business. Our goal is happy customers. If we don't have happy customers, we don't have a business. The key to getting happy customers is to have trained employees. So, if we want to have great employees, how do we do that? First of all, those employees have to be happy. And the key to having happy employees is very simple. First of all, well-trained. Second of all, they got to be knowledgeable. They got to know what's going on around them. Not only knowing how to serve their tea or serve a dinner or welcome people into a hotel or check them in. No, that's their immediate sphere of knowledge, but they have to be knowledgeable about the entire product. Why this hotel exists. Who are the owners of this hotel? Who are the owners of this restaurant? What's the philosophy behind it? And so that's about being more than just knowing how to do your job. That's about knowledgeable. And then you also have great personalities. I honestly believe if you don't have great personalities in the industry, we don't have the possibility to do great service. So when we hire people, we're actually setting ourselves up to give excellent training. This means when you hire people, you got to go to acting schools. You got to go out there and identify the happy, smiley, outgoing, friendly people who we can bring into the industry. And then these people will become excellent employees. When we train them, then they'll become happy. It's in a recent survey, it's been noted that hospitality service today in the year 2013 is at an all-time low. The last time service in general was at this level was back in 2005, 2006. So we're talking about an epidemic of average service. So Train the Trainer's goal is to help you turn around the service from just delivering what's asked to delivering excellence. So that means our employees would be trained. I'm going to be reading the slides from just behind the camera so that I can keep up with you. So you're going to see the slides here. I'm going to be looking over there. So Train the Trainer is all about giving our people the right skills, and these right skills are in two basic different categories. The first one is the what. What do we want our employees to know? And second, how are we going to teach them? So that's what Train the Trainer is all about. The what and the how. The what is about identifying and documenting the most excellent practices. You'd be shocked how many operations in food and beverage do not have a sequence of service, meaning an identified process from when the customer arrives to when the customer leaves, and detailing in each of those steps what should happen. So when we welcome our guest, what words are we going to use? Are we going to say hi? Are we going to say welcome to the restaurant? Are we going to say it in the local language, ahlan wa sahlan, or irashaimase in Japanese, or sawadee krap in Thai? How are we going to use a greeting? Are we a restaurant in a foreign country that's going to adapt that language, or are we going to be just in English? So those are decisions that have to be made, because what happens is once you processize the greeting in the restaurant, your employees are going to know this is the way to do it. So what happens is once we processize, we can say this is how every guest should be served in our restaurant. What's going to happen for you is when you go in the restaurant, you see your employees at work or even at the check-in desk, and you see the employees on the check-in desk doing that process with a guest, you're going to say, that's right. How do you know it's right? Because you've written it. You've determined what it is that they should be doing. And that process has to go into deep detail. We talk about that in the sequence of service training, which you'll be able to have a look at on thehospitalityacademy.com. But what I want to focus on today is just the overall ground rules for why we need to undergo Train the Trainer. And then we were going to talk about the how, knowing the best way to transfer the what to our employees. So first of all, we design these processes, we create them, we write them down, we test them. Now we've got something in our hands that defines the entire guest process. So then we have to be able to train, and that's the how. Because training is done miserably in 75 to 80% of the cases. A manager stands up, has a paper, takes it out and says, listen everybody, here's the paper, I want you to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, thank you very much, end of session, off you go. Disaster. Failure is guaranteed. Why? In any training session, people only retain 20 to 25% of what you teach. That's nothing. Secondly, if your training session is going longer than 20-25 minutes, the chance of retention of knowledge declines rapidly. So what we want to do is create a system of training that focuses on key points that employees can remember and then implement. And secondly, that fits into this core 20, 25, 30-minute tops training session that inspire these employees to give this great service. So, it needs a systematic approach. How is the system created? First of all, we start. Most of you do not train. If you're a manager in the industry, you've got to train personally. Why? Your employees are all junior to you. They don't have the same amount of experience as you. They haven't had the exposure that you have. So who's the best trainer? The one who's been around the world, the one that's seen multiple operations, the one that's worked on the ground and developed themselves up the ladder. Why? They can communicate these amazing things that they've learned through their training to their employees. Whereas if you have a young employee doing training to others, he just doesn't have the depth of experience to pass it on. So, start, but you have to start. Where do we start? We start at the beginning. So we take this system that we've created, we break it down into pieces, we call them steps, and then each step is trained to the employees. Which employees? Every employee. We can't skip it out. So in order to make sure that that happens, we have to have a plan. Many organizations do not have a training plan. They have a training department, and those training departments roll out a corporate training once a year, twice a year, sending employees to external training, inviting a trainer in. But the core of training is to ensure that you are constantly modifying and updating and building the knowledge of your team. This is where the quality learning takes place for your employees. On top of that, you got to record what you do. If you're not recording it, you're not doing training. I'm going to repeat that. If you don't record the training you're doing, you're not doing training. It's as simple as that. Why? Because a training record is a point of reference. We can go back to that point of reference and say, Mark, you were trained on this topic in January. We're now in February. You said that you understood it. We tested you. You scored well, and you're not delivering the service. Why not? If we don't have a training record, we go back to our employee and we say, hey, why are you not giving that service? He goes, oh, no one told me. Say, yeah, but you went to training. Yeah, I think so. There's nothing concrete. So the training plan is concrete. It's a piece of paper documented that goes into a system. And we can see that every employee across the board has been trained. So that's very important. And then we come to rewarding. You know, there's nothing more motivating for an employee than to know he's being trained, he's being measured, he's being rewarded. We are so strong on building reward systems, and you can check that out on the hospitalityacademy.com. We have another program which is called the Operations Room. And the Operations Room is a huge program. It's 34 days of implementation, and that implementation basically takes our employees, creates a whole process, measures it, and develops a reward system. So what does it cost you to give dinner for two to an outstanding employee in your restaurant? Frankly, nothing. Why? He's excited. He gets to experience the product and he's rewarded. So we create meaningful rewards. Maybe you have a spa. Let the spa employees get trained. Let them build up rewards. Let them have spa treatments. What about front office? Let them have rewards. Let those rewards accumulate so they get a night's stay in the hotel. Many of these hotels are part of a chain. Give them the opportunity to go to another hotel within the chain. So what's happening is, by rewarding our employees, we're saying training is not just a process. Training is an intrinsic part of your lifestyle. And we're developing these beautiful lifestyles where people put a lot of effort into their work and they get something really awesome out of it. So, rewarding training. Measuring our guest level of happiness comes next. So first, we build a system. Then, we train our people. Then we measure our customer happiness. Once we're measuring the customer happiness, we can reflect that directly on our employee happiness. So what we do for you is we create an employee happiness rating system, which is monthly. Yeah, every single month. So what happens is, your employees are saying, I'm happy or I'm not happy, once a month. All of them, from the pot washer to the receptionist to the concierge to the chambermaid, all the way across the industry. So what you're doing is you're measuring customer satisfaction. Are our guests happy? And at the same time, on the other side, we're measuring employee happiness. And you will see a direct correlation between your guest happiness and your employee happiness. Happy employees give amazing service, guests are happy. So that's what we're going to be measuring. The core of being a great trainer is to incorporate all these skills into one program. Typically, we have lots of exciting programs, but they're not linked together. Whereas Train the Trainer helps you to learn how to link all these sessions together and to link employee happiness, guest happiness, management effectiveness, measure it as one figure, one number. So we teach that, and that's really exciting. If you want to learn more about Train the Trainer, you can go to the Hospitality Academy's Train the Trainer program, and we'll fully prepare you to do the task. I'd like to thank you for listening today. I hope it's been helpful, and if we can offer you more advice, don't hesitate to get in touch. Drop me an email, mark@thehospitalityacademy.com, and we'll get on to whatever your questions are. We also do live Skype sessions, and you can check into that as well on thehospitality.com. So, look forward to being a resource for you, helping you to build great customer service and reach your goal of happy customers. Thanks for listening. Look forward to meeting you soon.